Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Lena Skvagerson here again. We are just now going live. So we're just logging into our different accounts. I want to make sure that we're all up and running. I'll see people starting here now to come in. Hi, Jean. I love when you say hi to me. And also last time when you were telling me where you're all coming from, that's so fun to read afterwards. And any comments that you make, I'm going to go in when we're done here today, and I'm going to answer your questions or say hi back. So I love when you put comments so that I can see where you are from and who you are and so on. So hi, Shelly. I see that you just logged in. Nice to have you all here. And we'll wait a couple of minutes before I start talking about all my fun things on my table that I have for you here today. We are going to talk about quick holiday gifts and also about some super cool deals going here this week. So we'll just wait a little bit for more people to come on board. Again, I'm Lena Skvagerson, your host here today for this live. I'm so excited to be here. Very excited for today, but also very happy to be back with Annie's, partnering with Annie's. I'm back here now making blankets. So I'm just about to start working on the next blanket for the Blanket Club for 2026. So that is something exciting to come. When time comes, I'm going to be able to show you previews if you join me here on the lives on Annie's either Facebook or Instagram. So we'll see here now, Christine. Hi, Christine. Nice to have you here. And we also have Patricia. Nice to see you too. So welcome, everybody. Lena Skvagerson here. So are you ready to get started? I have so much here today to talk about, but my main focus is going to be quick holiday gifts because we are getting into December. Christmas is coming before you know it. First, of course, I wonder, did you all have a good holiday? We already have started getting into the holiday season. I would love to hear what you did. Did you travel? Did you stay at home? Do you love to bring your projects? Do you love little projects to bring? Because that's what we're going to talk about today. I always love, if I'm in the car or on an airplane, I could not do it for hours without having a project. And that's when all those little projects are just perfect. So maybe you have traveling coming up, and then these things are going to be super. So what I have in front of me here now on my table, I have these cute little mug rugs. So they are just little stitch samplers. And this one is the one called Rustic Mug Rugs on Annie's website. So the pattern includes multiple of these little mug rugs. So I have two that I made up here today with two of my favorite stitches that I'm going to show you how to make. And of course, there are also knitted ones. So they also come in all these different fun textures, little samplers that you can be testing out. So the cool thing with these patterns now this week, together with some other patterns that I'm going to talk about today, is that all these kits that you can buy are 20% off this week. So it makes it really good priced kits. So for example, these mug rugs, they come as the pattern for $9.99, or you can use you can buy the whole kit where it includes yarn and everything. So go check out the website for that. And meanwhile, I will be showing you how to work the stitches so that you know how easy it will be just following the patterns that I made for these mug rugs. And with that said, I'm going to switch over to my hands to show you how to work these stitches. So bear with me here a second. I'm going to take a second for my other camera to come on board. I'm going to move these projects a little bit to the side. and then take a closer look at these two mug rugs. So there are multiple different stitches, as I said, but I choose these two because I think it's fun. The names are so similar. Here you have the bean stitch. So you see how that's cute and bumpy. On this one here, we have the bead stitch. So it sounds almost the same, but it's different. So I wanted to show you both these stitches so that you can know the difference between bean and bead stitches. So I already prepared my little sample here. This is my start for the bean stitch rug. So I did a fewer number of stitches just so I'll be able to show you the whole repeat back and forth. The pattern tells you to chain and then work half double crochet in your chain band. So that's what I did here. And so now I'm putting that loop back on my hook and I'm turning around so that I am on here on the wrong side. Here it starts with a chain 2. I already chained 1. So now I have chain 2 out of this first stitch here. So that chain 2 replaces my first half double crochet. And now let's get closer here. The pattern will tell you to work half double crochets in the front bar of each half double crochet stitch across. So if we take a closer look here, the half double crochet stitches, they have these 2 loops here up at the top that we do not want to work into. We want them to create a little ridge on the right side of our project. So instead, we're turning things over and we can see these little horizontal bars that are in the back of each stitch. You see them here. So those are the bars that we're going to work into. So I already chained 2 coming out of the first stitch. And so now I'm locating the next stitch here to work a half double crochet. So I yarn over and then see how I go under that horizontal bar. And then I work a half double crochet. I pull up the loop and then I yarn over and go through all the 3 loops on my hook. So that's a half double crochet that I'm working here now in these horizontal bars here in front of work. It says in the front bar. So then, since I have this side facing me, this is where I'm going to put my half double crochets. So let me work this row here all the way across so that we can take a look exactly how to make this one mug rug. I love to make these textured stitches. So working into that horizontal bar of the half double is something that if you know me and you know my patterns, you'll see me use that a lot because it creates this really cool ridge on the front side. So I'm almost nearing here the end of the row. I'm coming to the last couple of stitches here. Let me get closer to the camera so we can see. You see, I have 1 more half double, and then I have those chains that I turn the row with. So it's important to also work in that bar of the last half double stitch. And then when I come to my remaining those chain 2, I also put my last stitch in top of that chain at the start of the previous row. So that was my wrong side row number 2. And now see how cool that ridge turned out here on the right side. So I'm bringing up also that mug rug. You can see how I'm creating the ridges here. That's going to be each side of the mug rug. So after that, I'm back on the right side. I want to create 1 more ridge. So here on the right side, it tells us to work in the back bar. So now I have the 2 loops here in the front, and we have that bar or that loop here in the back. So that's where we're going to work when we work our way back. Now we're going to work single crochet. So I chain 1 to just get a little height, and then I go into that loop, the second loop there in the back. So just going into those loops all the way across. I'm just going to work my way. So this is just to show you first how to work that half double crochet ridge, and then we're going to get into the bean stitch itself. But I just thought it was important for you to see all the different techniques here in one of my rugs. So, and then these rugs, they've been so popular because they are cute as little gifts. They will fit your cup of coffee or your cup of tea or whatever you're drinking. And then you also have room for a little cookie or a little cinnamon roll or whatever goes with your cup. We call it fika in Sweden. Maybe you have heard that word when you go for a fika. That's when you have a coffee break in the middle of the day. And then it's really cute to have a little mug rug. So now I'm done here with row 3. Let's jump into the bean stitches. So they start here now on the wrong side. I am starting out following my pattern. I'm chaining 2. Then I have brackets that tells me to work a bean stitch in the next stitch. And to do so, I'm going to insert the hook into the stitch, into that next stitch. I yarn over and pull up a loop. Then I yarn over and I go into the very same stitch and pull up a loop. And then again, yarn over, go into the same stitch and pull up a loop. So see, I did all that into the very same stitch. After I'm done with that, I am going to yarn over and draw through all these 6 loops that I have on my hook. So I yarn over and then I stretch up those loops a little bit and I turn my hook down so that I can get all the way through. So that is my bean stitch. Next up in the pattern, it tells me to chain 1 and skip the next stitch. And then that will be my repeat all the way across. So I go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, and then yarn over, same stitch and bring up a loop, yarn over, same stitch again and bring up a loop. Make sure to bring them up about the same height. Then you yarn over, go through all 6 loops, chain 1 and skip a stitch. So this is what I will be repeating here now all the way across. I'm going to pick up a little speed. So I did my 6 loops on my hook, chain 1 and skip a stitch. So maybe you are stitching here now following along with me, or you will be stitching this later on. Just know that this texture, you need to have an uneven number of stitches, and then you can use this stitch for any project. If you don't want to make mug rugs, maybe you want to make a scarf or something else using the bean stitch, or maybe you've been making one of my blankets where I use it, also going back and forth in borders. So here I am now. I've been working my bean stitches across. See here. And then the pattern will tell you to work a half double crochet in the last stitch. So I go into the last stitch, bring up a loop. I have 3 loops on my hook and I yarn over and go through all those 3 loops. So that finished off my first bean stitch row here. And this pattern is a 2-row repeat. So I'm turning to the right side. I actually said it's a 2-row repeat, but it's actually a 1-row repeat, because now when we're working row 5, this is the row that I will keep repeating. So I'm chaining 2 at the beginning, and then it tells us to work a bean stitch in the first bean stitch. And if we take a look at it, it's that little triangular space that we have here right after the stitch that actually is the stitch that belongs to the bean stitch. So now all we need to do is to not yarn over. We go straight into that stitch, and then I bring up a loop. Then I yarn over, going to the same stitch, bring up a loop, yarn over, same stitch again, bring up a loop, 6 loops on my hook, I yarn over, and then I chain 1, and then we keep working that all the way across here. So again, I go into that next bean stitch, bring up a loop, yarn over, go into the same stitch, yarn over, go into the same stitch. I have 6 loops on my hook. I yarn over and go through all those 6 loops and then chain 1. So now you can take a closer look. You can see how that turns out. With that, you know everything you need to know to make bean stitches. So again, take a closer look here, what it looks like when you keep repeating your rows. So that turns out to this super cute little mug rug. So that's my first one. I'm going to quickly move over to my next one so that I can show you how to make the bead stitch. So here we have the bead stitch. That's a little bit different. So let's see how we do the bead stitch. I love all these bumpy little textures. I started this one, also smaller sample. So the pattern will tell you to chain, then work a row of single crochet into your chain band. And then we are ready for row 2 here together. So to work row 2, this is where we chain 3 at the beginning of the row, chain 3, and then I work a double crochet in the next single crochet stitch. So not into the first one, but into the second. I work a double crochet. And then after that, I have a repetition. And the repetition actually also starts with a double crochet here out at the edge. So I work a double crochet. And then next, there is a bead stitch. And it says to work it in the double crochet that I just made. So let me now show you how to work a bead stitch. I have the post here of the double crochet I just made, and I'm going to work around it. I yarn over before I get started, and then I go under that post and then yarn over and bring up a loop. Also a little bit of a height here. And then I yarn over again, go around that post and bring up a loop. And then I yarn over again. And for a third time, I go around that post. So now you can see how I have 7 loops here on my hook. Now I yarn over, and I'm going to go through just the first 6. So make sure to separate a little bit here, and then carefully work your way through the first 6. So see how I came up there right before the last stitch. And then here at this point, I yarn over and go through both those 2 stitches. So that's my bead stitch. And then the pattern tells me to skip the next single crochet stitch. And that's the one that kind of ends up right underneath my bead stitch. So that starts a new repetition where I skip that stitch like the pattern said, and then I work a double crochet into the next single crochet stitch like that. Now I'm going to work a bead stitch around it so we get a chance to see how I do that one more time. I yarn over, go around the post, bring up a stitch, yarn over, second time, and then yarn over around the post for a third time. I have 7 loops on my hook. I yarn over, go through the first 6, yarn over, go through the next 2. So here you have 2 bead stitches. They're so cute and so decorative. So that's how you work to make the bead stitches here for this mug rug that we have here. So take a look. You may hear my dog barking in the back. I think it's the mailman that just showed up at my door, and I'm not there to tell her to stop. So we'll see. Sorry for that. But that's the mug rug. And then I wanted to show you again here now when I'm close up to the camera how the knitted mug rugs that are also available, the rustic mug rugs, like these patterns are now on a really good deal over at Annie's. And to show you how that turns into a cute holiday gift, I just take a pretty coffee cup, and then you can stuff your little mug rug in it, tie a little band, and you have the most adorable little Christmas gift for a friend. And then they can unravel, they can put their cup, and then they can put their little cinnamon roll right there. So that's the whole idea with mug rugs. I'm going to come back to the camera. Hi again. And now I'm going to move my mug rugs out of the way. And I also want to take a quick moment to talk about the other patterns that right now, the full kits, like all the yarn kits that comes with patterns, are 20% off. So let's first get started here. Here is that, let's see if I can show. Here's the mug rugs that I was just showing you. And there will be links also to these patterns. So that's the mug rugs. Another one that I love, and that is a quick holiday gift, is another little cute mug rug. And I'm going to show you that technique in just a little bit. Some of my other absolute favorite patterns is these little crochet boots, the Helix crochet boots. They're also on a special price, 20% off this week. And then we have my Gansey blankets. So let me show you. There is one circular one that includes all these cool raised textured stitches that we've just talked about, creating all this surface texture. And I have one more for you, and that's my Gansey style crochet Afghan. So you see this one now. And this one also, when you get a kit, it's 20% off. It's such a great deal. I think, I don't have it now in front of me, but I think it's like around $55 or something for the kit, where you get all the yarn, the pattern, and everything. So again, that's that one. And I happen to have it. So I'm going to just bring it in here to show you how many beautiful stitches this texture incorporates. So if you love rich Gansey textures and you want to make an Afghan, this one is for you. So that's my Gansey Afghan for crocheters. Then I have the Gansey knit Afghan that's also been so popular that I just snagged from my couch. It lives on my couch. It's one of my favorite blankets. Also, lots of rich textures. It's called the Gansey knit Afghan over at Annie's. That said, you saw that little Christmas tree mug rug that has this cute color work. And it's a little bit technique to make this color work. So I wanted to give you a little quick start on how to work this color work. So let's get back to my hands. Just a second. And I'm going to bring the pattern out. So I already started with the first row. So for this little mug rug, we are chaining 17 and then working half double crochets in our chain band across. Then for our row 2, we are already starting working the texture. So let me show you. We're still working with this main oatmeal color. So I'm chaining 2 as I turn around here now to the wrong side. I'm here now. Then the pattern tells me to work half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So not in the first one where the chains are coming out, but I'm starting in the next one, and I go underneath the 2 top loops. I bring up the loop for half double. I go through all 3 loops. So that was 1 and then 2. So that's how the whole thing gets started. Then I have a star for the repetition, and that is to chain 2, and then I skip the next 2 stitches and work half double in each of the next 2. So I do 1 and another 1, going under those both 2 top loops of each stitch. So this is the repetition, a little chain space and 2 half double. So now let me work my way across. I do chain 2, I skip 2, and then half double in each of next 2. The cool thing with this one is to figure out how to do the color work changes. So that's what I want to come to that point to show you. I chain 2 and skip 2, and then I, oops, half double, I pull through all 3, and then again yarn over, go through that last stitch and pull through all 3. And then I have my turning chain here at the end. That one can always be a little tricky hiding, but when the pattern tells you to work in your turning chain, it's important to find that one so that you also work a stitch into that last turning chain at the top of it. So here will be my first row with my gray background. You can't really see, but there's like these little spaces in here. So now what the pattern tells you is to drop the collar in use. The way I drop it is that I pull out the loop a little bit so that it's not going to unravel. I'm back here now on row 3 for the right side. Now it tells me to join the red color. So I'm just bringing in a red color here, leaving a bit of a tail, and then I'm going to join it in the first stitch. So I just go into that first stitch and bring through the loop. Make sure I have enough tail, and that loop is just going to hang here at the side. Now the pattern tells me to chain 4, so I chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, then the pattern notes tells you that that's the height of a half double plus 2 chains, and that's going to make sense in a little bit. You see how it reaches over. So next up in the pattern, it tells us to skip those 2 half double crochets, and now we're going to work half double in each of the next 2 half doubles 2 rows below. And that's the technique here that it's important to follow. You yarn over, you go into the stitch here below the space. See how I go into the top of that half double that we skipped? I go to the back, I yarn over and bring up the loop. I have 3 loops on my hook. I yarn over and I'm going to go through all 3 for a half double. So see how that was worked now into that stitch below. I'm going to do also a half double into the next one. So we have the space, but I'm going into the stitch below, pulling up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. See how that row starts out? Then this is how I'm going to repeat all the way across. I chain 2, and then I skip those next 2 half doubles. I place half doubles here in the space below, or in the stitch below. Make sure to go through all 3 loops. Go into the next stitch, go through all 3 loops. So you see how that works its way all the way across. I chain 1 and 2. Here, working my way now towards the end of the row so that I can show you what happens next. I work into those 2 half doubles below. I have 2 stitches left here on the row. I chain 1 and 2. And then the pattern tells me to end with a single crochet in the second chain here. So that's where I'm going to put my hook through that second chain, and a single crochet, I pull through the yarn, and then I pull through both 2 loops just like that. So that's our first colorway row. And next, the pattern tells us to pull out that color here. We're going to have these loops each side as we bring in our next color for our next row. So that's going to be bringing in white. Good Christmas colors here. So again, for row 4, it tells us to join white in the first stitch. So I'll do that here. And then it tells me to chain 2, 1 and 2. And you see how this little loop hangs here. These tails, I'm going to weave those in later. And now we're going to do the exact same thing here now. We're going to work half double in those stitches that we skipped here below. So I'm going into that top of the stitch, bringing up the loop, going through all 3 loops on my hook. I yarn over, go into the next stitch below, and work half doubles. Then we will chain 1 and 2, skip those next 2, and then I go into the top here and I I really just want to make my way over to the end so that I can show you how to then switch back to the color. So let me speed up here a little bit. I'm just going to go into these stitches here below so that you can see how everything takes shape. So you see here, and then chain 1 and 2, and I have 2 more stitches to work into here below. We're working half doubles. I think I forgot myself there for a little bit, but it's half double stitches. We're working all the way through on this, and then ending with a single crochet in the second chain. So find that second chain at the beginning of previous row and work a single crochet. So you see that's the next pattern row. Now we'll pull out that loop, we turn around, and we want to go back to use this color again. So I simply put that one back. I find the tail for that color. Let's see if I do find it. That would be helpful. I did. So, and then it tells us to repeat the pattern row. So now I have the color back here. I'm going to join in the first stitch. There we go. I'm joined. And now I do the same thing again. I chain 4 and then skip over and work my half doubles here in those stitches below. So you see, this is the technique that you will then keep using for that color work. Either if you want to make that little rug or if you want to use just this color work for something else, because it's really cool. And once you get going, it kind of just continues. It's very obvious what you're supposed to do, and you always keep those loops at the side, and then you pull them up here at the beginning of each row to switch to the next color. So that, my friend, were my little tutorials for today. I'm going to be back here again. So I hope that gave you some good ideas of things that you can whip up before Christmas. Because no matter if you do little mug rugs, if you have time, you can make little boots for your friends, those helix boots. Like I said, all those are special price this week. So a really good deal from Annie's. And I also know that some of my blankets, for you blanket lovers, from the club, they are also available at a very good price this week. Crazy good price actually for a full kit, because those blankets normally for a whole kit, like I have a little cheat sheet here, they would be like $200 to $250 to buy, getting all the yarn, all the videos, and all the patterns. They are now $89.99, like $90. You get all the yarn, patterns, videos, and everything. And that includes my Moroccan tile blankets, and it includes the crochet striped Afghan, and it also includes the knit Irish field Aran knit Afghan. So lots of options if you head over to the club section at Annie's. Great prices, a good time to stock up on those blankets. And then we'll have so much fun working on them together now when I'm back here with you. So thank you for joining me today. Let me know in the comments what you want me to show next time. I plan to be here next Wednesday again, so stay tuned. And like I said, give me your comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'm so grateful that you were here watching me today. Bye.